We return to Stargate SG-1 with Thor's hammer, because Grabthar was unwilling to sign on for this project. Daniel's theory is that there were two types of aliens who visited Earth. Bad guys like the Goa, and others who helped us out, let us borrow their lawnmower, and also fought the enemies of humanity, and never even asked us to help them move or anything. Most important was Thor, whose hammer is a powerful weapon against their enemies, although it will be no match for Daniel Jackson once he's transformed into a robot. Well, naturally, everyone figures Thor and his friends might be allies in dealing with the Goa'uld, and to help, Teal'c actually knows of a world where there's the symbol of Thor's hammer, because the Jaffa are all told never to go there. That's good enough reason to check it out, so off they go to the planet. Yes, this looks just like the kind of thing a god of thunder would erect. Must be the right place. The gate opens, and there are lots of primitive locals to greet them. Boy, I bet they're in awe that these people have appeared here by magic. Vikings are a jaded crowd.
Thor!
Chug, 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 chug. Well, from the tip of that tall shaft sprays this blue light over everyone, but it causes Teal'c to spaz, and when O'Neill tries to help him out, they both vanish. Daniel and Carter are soon visited by Gerwin, who was under the impression that O'Neill and Teal'c were Ettins, their word for the Goa'ulds, and were tricked into coming here for hammer time. But as fellow humans, they're welcomed with open arms. This place was created by Thor to protect these people and all, and as good guys, they wouldn't kill an innocent. Let's hope that's a code of behavior and not an after-the-fact justification for everyone they happen to kill. Someone who might have the answer to all this is Kendra, but it is a ways away, and if we keep the horse too long, we'll go over budget, so they set off on foot to see if she can help. We find O'Neill and Teal'c in some kind of underground area, clearly has been built, although not by people big on interior decorating. Luckily, the beam didn't cause Teal'c and his symbiote any real harm, and they soon have a visitor. Foos! Ro! Duh!
I am Thor, Supreme Commander of the Asgard fleet.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
The High Council of Asgard has designated Samaria a safe world for developing sentient species by unanimous decree Era 40.73.29. The Goa'uld system lords were so informed.
Yeah, legal code stuff. Who knew that Thor's hammer was actually a judge's gavel? Also, this isn't even a personal message from Thor, it's just a form letter. It's like learning that you'll be sentenced to death the same way that you learn about being audited, which is basically the same thing, actually. The only way out is to face the hammer, which kills Goa'uld, a problem for Teal'c, obviously, but right now their only chance is to go looking for it. Meanwhile, the others have found Kendra, who is using some kind of Goa'uld device to heal this androgynous youth. They're nervous at this, since Goa'uld bling doesn't work for humans, and she has the entry wound on the back of her neck from being taken over, but she insists that thanks to the power of Thor it was driven out, so she's herself again, plus she can use all the magic stuff. Well, this is the first good news we've had on that score. So far there hasn't been any sign that Skara and Sharae could be saved. Back in the land down under, O'Neill and Teal'c find more good news. Human and Goa'uld bones with teeth marks on them. And not the tiny little ones of rats finding a dead body. No, the big bad wolf kind of marks. Ah, Grandma, what big... I'm going to say toes? You have there. But at Kendra's place, she assures them that O'Neill is perfectly safe. Apparently unaware of the big old monster in there with him. But that Teal'c is as good as dead. And good riddance. So they explain to her that Teal'c is a friend who has turned his back on the System Lords and is working to free the Jaffa and end the tyranny and bloodshed. So Kendra says, oh, in that case, fuck him anyway! Fortunately, the thunder rolls, and that seems to be a more persuasive argument to Kendra, who grudgingly agrees to help them out. Meanwhile, as they stumble through Khazad-dûm, we discover that Teal'c's staff weapon indeed won't work, but luckily bullets still do. Although, testing that awakens the monster. Ah, that foot's actually a hand. Not that the difference matters, it doesn't look like it's a concert harpist or anything. But he could probably do some nasty things with those claws. Hopefully Kendra, Daniel, and Carter can get there in time. Provided we can do the abridged version of the sacred ritual here. Kendra explains that thanks to special techniques she learned growing up, she had enough of her mind left after the joining to subtly influence her symbiote into coming here, expecting a quick death but getting the grand prize of restoration and not being eaten by a monster. If only O'Neill and Teal'c can be so lucky.
Kill the human.
Excuse me?
and we will feast together.
Thanksgiving is weird on this planet.
Ow. Nice day to you too, dick.
Weapons are of no use here.
I stand corrected. Say, kill this Jaffa and we will feast, huh? Bygones? The dead guy's called the first one, and for now they leave him behind. But the Easy was taken out after that build-up, and the glowy eye says that we probably haven't seen the last of him. After some prodding, Teal'c explains that the reason he's called the first one is, wait for it, his kind were among the first to be taken as hosts by the Goa'uld because they came from the same world as them. Teal'c compares it to a vampire, but I'm afraid that's not in the hot erotic sparkle in the daylight kind of way, more of the very hard-to-kill monster sort of way. Well, let's hope the rescue party can get here soon.
We're not lost, are we?
It was long ago. Everything was covered with snow.
Of course. Too much to hope that the God of Thunder would have given his servant a GPS or something.
It's all right. Just take your time. Kendra.
Ready yet? I don't have all minute. Obviously, Daniel's concerned about what might be done for Sharae. But the more she says, the more convinced he is that this will all work out. That she's still in there somewhere and will be strong enough to survive the hammer. Oh, yeah, many of the hosts die, too, from the agony of it. But Thor's got up that list of side effects on there to satisfy the FDA rules about that sort of thing. And reflecting on that helps her tap into the planetary map quest because she remembers the way now, so they'll be there to rescue O'Neill and Teal'c in no time. I guess that no time isn't fast enough, not when you're dealing with gritty reboot Count Chocula.
That's no myth.
It's a space station. At this point, Carter is suspicious of Kendra, saying that it looks like they're going in circles, and that she's either deliberately or subconsciously refusing to take them where they need to go. But Daniel's desperately clinging to hope for Sharae, so when logic fails him, he takes the next step.
Haven't you ever had a feeling that made absolutely no logical sense and it turned out to be right?
That sometimes even stupid shit proves to be right, so let's continue with said stupid shit. Hopefully they'll have enough time.
Your weapons cannot kill me.
I guess not. And yeah, that's James Earl Jones as the voice of the monster guy, who is given the traditional Viking greeting of bullets. Fortunately, Kendra has finally led them to the entrance, but she doesn't remember about the labyrinth beyond lots of tunnels, which is kind of mandatory for an underground labyrinth. And oh yeah, there was a giant monster in there too. Luckily, Jack and Teal'c have found a way out. I didn't say that was good luck. Hopefully the reinforcements can help.
In the temple, we were taught that fear is the greatest enemy.
Second greatest enemy is our bladder, all those fountains and urns. Of course, now is when the bad guy returns, trying to divide them by pointing out the actions that they can each take for their own self-interest, like O'Neill leaving and Teal'c, I guess, going back to that whole eating O'Neill thing. Well, when that fails, the monster guy attacks and they drive it back into the hammer, but he's stubborn and even riddled with bullets will not fall inside. So Teal'c finally has to wrestle him in there until O'Neill can pull Teal'c back out again. Well, the Goa'uld has been driven from it, and now the creature can fall down and try to recover from all of those gunshot wounds that it has. Doesn't look too good for it, does it? But, it can't really be helped with that whole trying to eat them thing. Well, now's when the dilemma comes in. The only way out is through that doorway, which will kill Teal'c, but if they shut down the hammer, they can't use it for Skara and Sharae. But as O'Neill observed, Teal'c is in trouble right here, right now, so it's really no choice at all. They're just going to have to hope to find another way. Daniel himself destroys it with a staff weapon. It works outside of the barrier because of science. It was worth that sacrifice just to see your face light up like that, Teal'c. They have a happy farewell where Daniel gets to give the special Meet Alien starter package in the hopes that Thor himself will one day get it and be their friend, and maybe not suck them into a cave again. The episode itself is rather unremarkable, aside of giving Daniel a couple good character moments. Its real importance is the groundwork that it lays for the lore of Stargate. The existence of the Asgard, Thor, protected planets, the Goa'uld healing device, and the existence of the Unas. It also assures our heroes and the audience that things could work out for Skara and Sharae, that what happened to Kowalski won't necessarily happen to them. Kendra spends a lot of time talking with the Thunder, implied to be her talking to Thor. Either she's delusional, which given what she's been through, a little madness wouldn't be surprising, or the creators at that time still hadn't thought out the direction for where they were going to take the Asgard, because it doesn't seem like the way that Thor would actually handle things, unless there was perhaps some kind of system rigged up akin to the automated answering machine that just handles this kind of thing. And please don't get mad if something explains that later. It's a big damn series, and I'm only up to Homecoming right now. The episode also seems to predate the idea that when the wormhole activates, stuff in the way gets disintegrated, as they park all their gear right in front of the gate as they turn it on. Unless this was a sacrifice to Thor for his blessing on the journey or something. But for early Season 1, when they were really trying to find their footing with the series, Thor's hammer was one of the better episodes, and helped to prevent the show from losing its momentum, and also to assure the audience that the stuff set up by the pilot had not been forgotten.
It is dead, right? We don't have to go back there and drive a stake through its chest or anything.